I booked premium cruise for my children. Stepmother gave their spots to nieces and nephews, claiming they were more deserving. My sweet revenge shocked entire family. Be me, 33 years old. Always believed family meant support, even if they took advantage of you, even if you swallowed every insult. Thought it was worth it because you were part of something bigger. But sometimes family is just people who know you won't say no. Wipe my hands on kitchen towel. Glance at clock. 7:15 p.m. Any moment now, my father and stepmother would arrive. Uninvited as always. From the other room, I hear my kids laughing, arguing, creating their own little world of chaos. They're loud, unfiltered, alive, and that's exactly why my stepmother despises them. They are out of control. You've spoiled them rotten. Her voice still echoes in my mind. Our last argument had been days ago. Do you even discipline them, or do you just let them run wild? Had clenched my jaw but said nothing. No point. She had already decided her truth. Mom, are we really going on the cruise? Lisa asked, bouncing on her heels. Grandma said it's going to be amazing. Smile and tuck a stray curl behind her ear. Of course, sweetheart. You and Tommy are going to have the best time with Grandpa and Grandma. Just a few more days and you'll be on that big ship eating chocolate cake every day. This cruise was supposed to be special. A vacation just for the kids and their grandparents. Something carefree and exciting. Something that would give them new experiences. While I got a much-needed break, had planned every detail, paid for everything, made sure my parents had the best accommodations. They didn't have to lift a finger. All they had to do was enjoy time with my kids. Front door opens without a knock. Hello, darling. My stepmother's voice rings through the house. Saccharine and insincere. My father follows her in. Silent as always. He never interferes. Never stops her. Turn and force a polite smile. Not today, I tell myself. Don't start anything today. Good timing, I say. I was just about to finalize the cruise details. She smiles. A slow, calculated smile. The kind that makes my stomach twist. Oh, about that, she starts. Takes off her coat. Drapes it over the chair. We had to make a little change. Freeze. My fingers tighten around the counter. What change? She sits down, crosses her legs elegantly, like she's about to discuss something trivial, like dinner plans, not something I'd spent months planning. We decided that your sister's kids would benefit from this trip more. Silence. Stare at her. The words not fully registering at first. Excuse me? She sighs like I'm the unreasonable one. Well, after our little disagreement the other day, I realized that your kids really don't deserve this trip. They're too undisciplined, too much work. And honestly, I thought it would be a good lesson for you. You need to learn how to raise them properly. A flashback hits me like a slap to the face. 3 nights ago, dinner at my father's house. Tommy, Lisa, sit down properly. My stepmother's voice rings through the dining room. She scowls at my son. He had simply reached for the breadbasket. They're just excited, I say lightly. Trying to keep the peace. Excited? They're uncontrollable. Look at them, she snaps. Her perfectly manicured fingers tighten around her wine glass. You've raised them like wild animals. No respect, no discipline. Excuse me? My voice drops. My patience thinning. You heard me, she sets her glass down sharply. You let them do whatever they want. They need structure, rules. Your sister's kids now, they are well-behaved, polite. They know how to listen. Maybe because they're terrified of their mother, I mutter under my breath. Her eyes flash. I don't expect you to understand, but I won't sit here and pretend your parenting isn't a disaster. Force myself to take a deep breath. Keep my temper in check. My father remains silent, staring at his plate. He never takes sides. Not mine, at least. And now here we are. She had been waiting for this moment. The perfect way to teach me a lesson. A sharp, cold rage spreads through my chest. You replaced my children. My voice is eerily calm. She waves a hand dismissively. Oh, don't be dramatic. They'll get another chance. But your sister's kids, they've had a rough year. And well, they're easier to handle. It's for the best. My father shifts uncomfortably but says nothing. He never does. Something inside me snaps. But I don't scream. I don't argue. Instead, I reach for my phone. My fingers steady. Oh, I say, voice light. That won't be a problem at all. With a few swipes, I cancel everything. Every ticket, every suite, every excursion. Gone. Her smile falters. What are you doing? Slip my phone back into my pocket and meet her gaze. Problem solved. Silence stretches across the room, like a drawn bowstring, tight and waiting to snap. My stepmother stares at me, blinking, trying to process what just happened. My father shifts in his seat, his discomfort finally manifesting in a clearing of his throat. You canceled the trip? She asks. Her voice sharp with disbelief. That's right. But that's ridiculous. She gives a forced laugh. Like I had just made a tasteless joke. The cruise is tomorrow. Do you know how much trouble it was to get everything arranged? What will we tell your sister's kids? Fold my arms. Tell them exactly what you told me. That plan's changed? Her mouth opens, then closes. My father sighs heavily. Come on, honey, be reasonable. The trip is already paid for. No, Dad. My voice is ice. I paid for it. And if my kids aren't going, then no one is. The first flicker of realization crosses his face. You mean you canceled everything? The rooms? The tickets? Every last detail, I confirm. The color drains from my stepmother's face. You're being childish. Am I? Cock my head. Because I seem to remember someone else changing plans without asking. You decided my kids didn't deserve to go. Now no one is going. My stepmother shoots up from her chair, her expression darkening with barely restrained rage. You had no right? No, I cut in. You had no right to make that decision. To treat my children like they are less than your precious golden grandchildren. You thought you could teach me a lesson? Well, here's one for you. You don't get to make choices about my generosity. Her breathing is heavy, her nostrils flaring. She turns to my father, waiting for him to jump in, to take her side, like he always does. But for the first time in years, he hesitates. His brows furrowed as he looks at me, something dawning on him. Something he should have realized a long time ago. You canceled everything? He repeats, this time softer. I nod. And you're really okay with losing all that money? Let out a short laugh. Oh, don't worry. I'm getting a refund. My stepmother's eyes widen. What? Reach for my phone again. Turn the screen toward them, showing the email confirmation from the cruise line. Full refund. The travel insurance covered cancellations for any reason. And since I booked through my corporate account, I pulled some strings. Every cent is coming back to me. For a moment, the room is dead quiet. Then my stepmother's face twists with fury. You? Me, I echo, shoving my phone back in my pocket. I just undid all your work in 2 minutes. Hope it was worth it. You are so ungrateful, my stepmother hisses. Snapping me back to the present, exhale slowly. Grateful for what? For being told my children weren't good enough? For being treated like a second-class citizen in my own family? She marches toward me, jabbing a manicured finger into my chest. I have done nothing but try to help you? Let out a cold laugh. Help me? Take a step closer, lower my voice. Let's go over what help looks like to you. Count on my fingers. You took money from me for family emergencies while my kids went without things they needed. 1 finger. You've called me selfish every time I dare to do something for myself. 2 fingers. You've never once stood up for my children when they were being compared to your better-behaved grandkids. 3 fingers. Her lips press into a thin line. And now you went behind my back and removed my kids from a trip that I planned, paid for, and organized without even telling me. 4 fingers. Drop my hand and take a step back. That's not help. That's control. And you don't have that over me anymore. My father stands abruptly. Honey, let's just calm down. No, I say sharply. I'm done being calm. I am done playing nice. Grab my purse and turn toward the door. Where are you going? My father asks. Home, I say. Because unlike some people, I actually want to spend time with my kids. Walk out. Slam the door behind me. And for the first time in my entire life, I don't feel guilty for leaving them behind. The moment I step out of my father's house, my phone explodes with messages. I expected it. My stepmother isn't the type to take humiliation quietly. Unlock my phone as I walk to my car. Scrolling through the notifications. Missed calls. 3 dad. Missed calls. 5 stepmother. New message stepmother. You are being ridiculous. Call me back now so we can fix this mess. New message stepmother. You will apologize for your behavior. I don't care how angry you are. You will not ruin this trip for your father. New message dad. Sweetheart, can we talk? Snort. Now he wants to talk. Reach my car, slide into the driver's seat, lock the doors. My hands are still shaking, not from fear, but from the sheer adrenaline of standing up to them. Place my hands on the steering wheel, take a deep breath, and then just as I'm about to put my phone down, another notification pops up. Incoming call, my sister. Oh, here we go. Exhale sharply and hit decline. 15 minutes later, my sister shows up at my house. I've barely stepped inside when I hear the knock. Not a polite knock. A furious, impatient fist against wood kind of knock. Close my eyes, already regretting answering the door. But if I don't, she'll probably just keep banging until my neighbors call the cops. With a sigh, I swing it open. And there she is, Natalie, my perfect, flawless, always right older sister. Her blonde hair pulled into a sleek bun. Her makeup flawless despite the late hour. She's wearing one of her designer coats, the kind that screamed money. Are you serious? She snaps before I can even say hello. Nice to see you too, Natalie, I say dryly. Cross my arms. She shoves past me, heels clicking against the hardwood as she storms into my living room. Why the hell would you do that? She demands. Turning to face me. Do what? I play dumb. Her eyes flash. Cancel the trip. Lean against the doorframe. Oh, you mean the trip that I paid for? That one? Oh, don't start with that, she groans. Mom said you overreacted. You know how she is? She didn't mean anything by it. I laugh. Laugh. Natalie's lips press into a thin line. What's so funny? You standing there acting like this is just some tiny misunderstanding. Like I should just accept it and move on. Because you should, she huffs. It's just a vacation, for God's sake. You made it a bigger deal than it needed to be. Right, just a vacation, just my kids. Just another way for her to remind me that we'll never be good enough. Natalie rolls her eyes. Here we go, the victim speech, and there it was. The condescension, the dismissal, the same thing she'd done our entire lives. You always do this, she continues. Throwing her hands in the air, you make yourself the victim in every situation. Like the whole world is against you. Feel the years of resentment bubbling up, threatening to erupt. I didn't make myself the victim, Natalie. Mom did that for me when she decided my kids weren't worthy of a trip that I paid for. She never said they weren't worthy. She called them undisciplined, out of control, too much work. Natalie hesitates just for a second. She didn't mean it that way, she finally mutters. Of course she did, I say flatly. And you know it. She exhales through her nose, clearly trying to keep herself calm. Look, just fix it. Rebook the trip. Let the kids go. Don't let this turn into some big family war. Too late, I say simply. Natalie's jaw clenches. You know what? Forget it, she snaps, turning toward the door. I should have known you wouldn't be reasonable. You never are. Let her reach for the doorknob before I speak. By the way, Nat, she turns, glaring. What? I smile coldly. Since you're here, you can let Mom know she'll be getting the bill for the non-refundable deposits. For the first time, real panic crosses her face. Wait, what? What deposits? Oh, you didn't think everything was refundable, did you? Tilt my head. The excursions, the VIP dinner, the upgraded suites, those were special requests I added just for them. And those, they're non-refundable. Her mouth opens, then closes. How much? She asks, suddenly cautious. I grin. 14,000. Natalie pales. You're lying. You really want to test that theory? Pull up the confirmation emails on my phone. Show her the balance. Her hand flies to her mouth. Oh my God, Mom is going to lose it. Oh, I know, I say. Enjoying every second of this, Natalie turns toward the door, fumbling for her phone. Wait until she hears about this, she mutters. Already typing frantically. Oh, tell her one more thing, I add sweetly. Natalie sighs. What now? I smile. Next time she wants a free vacation, she can book it herself. And with that, I shut the door in her face. That night, as I tuck my kids into bed, I feel something I hadn't felt in years. Not regret, not guilt. Relief. For the first time, I had set a boundary. A real, unshakable, expensive boundary. And something tells me this was just the beginning. Wake up to 23 missed calls, 15 from my stepmother, 5 from my father, 3 from my sister. Let out a slow breath, already knowing exactly what kind of storm is waiting for me. Sure enough, the moment I unlock my phone, the messages flood in. Stepmother. I hope you're happy. Your father is heartbroken. I don't know how you can live with yourself after what you did. Stepmother. Your sister's kids were excited. Imagine how they feel now. You don't just hurt me, you hurt innocent children. Do you even care? Stepmother. I hope you're ready to explain this to Dad when he calls. I told him everything. Natalie. Mom is livid. She's talking about taking legal action. Are you out of your mind? Natalie. Just fix it. It's not too late. Dad. Sweetheart, please call me. We need to talk. Rub my temple. Already exhausted. And it's not even 7 a.m. yet. And then just as I'm about to put the phone down, another notification pops up. Incoming call. Dad. Hesitate, then sigh and answer. Hi, Dad. Sweetheart. His voice is tired. Like he's aged overnight. Can we talk? We're talking. A pause. Look, I know you're upset, but was canceling the entire trip really necessary? Close my eyes briefly. Pinch the bridge of my nose. Dad, she removed my kids from a trip I paid for without telling me. What exactly did you think was going to happen? He sighs. I just think maybe you overreacted. Overreacted? Repeats slowly. My tone dangerously calm. Dad, if someone had done that to Natalie's kids, would you be saying that? Another pause. That's not the point. It's exactly the point, my voice sharpens. You've spent years letting her walk all over me. You always say you don't want to get involved. But what that really means is you don't want to stand up to her. It's not that simple, he mutters. It is. You just don't want to deal with the fallout. Silence. For the first time, I hear him exhale shakily, like the weight of this conversation is finally settling on his shoulders. Your stepmother? She just wanted to do what was best for the family. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. No, Dad. She wanted to do what was best for her version of the family. One where I'm just the person who pays for things but never gets a say. He doesn't respond. So let me make this easy for you, I say. My voice turning ice cold. I'm done. I'm done paying for things. I'm done being the family's problem solver. If she wants a vacation, she can book one. If Natalie's kids need a trip, she can pay for it. Sweetheart. No, I cut him off, feeling a sharp sense of finality settle in my chest. This was my last act of generosity, and you let her throw it away. Another long silence, and then quietly, for the first time in years, my father says something that actually sounds real. I don't know how to fix this. Close my eyes. You don't, I say softly. Because you're 20 years too late. And then I hang up. The next few hours are blissfully quiet. No calls, no messages. Have a late breakfast with my kids. Take them to the park. Ignore the outside world. But by mid-afternoon, I know it's only a matter of time before she shows up. Sure enough, at exactly 3:14 p.m., my doorbell rings. I don't move. Then it rings again. Longer this time. Then knocking. Loud, impatient knocking. Sigh. Finally getting up. Might as well get this over with. Open the door. And there she is, my stepmother. Her perfectly blow-dried hair is a little less perfect, her designer blouse slightly wrinkled. But her eyes, oh, they are filled with pure fury. We need to talk. Lean against the doorframe, arms crossed. I really don't think we do. She pushes past me, inviting herself in like she always did. I let her, because honestly, this was about to be fun. She spins to face me, her hands on her hips. What the hell is wrong with you? I smirk. Be more specific. You ruined this trip. Do you have any idea what you've done? Oh, I have a pretty good idea. Your sister is panicking. The kids are devastated. Your father is heartbroken. And you're just sitting here acting like a spoiled brat. Tilt my head, pretending to think, that sounds a lot like your problem, not mine. Her face twists in rage. You're unbelievable. I always knew you were selfish, but this is a new level. Sigh dramatically. And yet somehow I'll find a way to live with myself. She steps closer, lowering her voice. You need to fix this. I smile slowly, coldly. No! Her nostrils flare. You don't get to say no. Oh, but I do, I shrug. And I just did. She sputters, her face turning red. You can't just... I can do whatever I want. And you, I take a slow step forward, watching her actually step back for the first time ever. You just learned what happens when you push someone too far. Her breathing is heavy, her hands shaking at her sides. You think you won? She hisses. This isn't over. I laugh. Oh, it is. It was over the moment you decided my kids weren't good enough for you. Her jaw tightens, but she says nothing. So I smile and open the door. Bye, Mom. Her eyes flash. She hates when I call her that. In this tone, dripping with sarcasm, stripping the word of any warmth, she storms out. And this time I lock the door behind her. That night, as I tuck my kids into bed, my daughter looks up at me, frowning. Mommy? Yes, sweetheart? Did we do something bad? She whispers. Is that why we're not going on the trip? My chest tightens painfully. Brush her hair back gently. No, baby, I say softly. You didn't do anything wrong. She looks at me for a long moment. Then she nods and rolls over, hugging her stuffed bear close. And as I stand there watching my children sleep, I feel something shift deep inside me. This isn't just about revenge anymore. This is about protecting them. And if that means burning every last bridge to keep them safe from this family, then so be it. The silence after my stepmother left feels different this time. It isn't heavy with guilt. It isn't suffocating with regret. It's peaceful. For the first time in my life, I had said no, and I meant it. Sit in my living room, staring at my phone, waiting for the next round of attacks, but something tells me I won't have to wait long. Sure enough, not even an hour later, my phone buzzes. Incoming call, Dad. Exhale slowly, debating whether to let it go to voicemail. Then almost immediately, another notification pops up. Incoming call, stepmother. Then another. Incoming call, Natalie. Roll my eyes. They're desperate now. And desperate people, they make mistakes. Let them all go to voicemail. But Natalie isn't one to give up easily. Within seconds, my phone vibrates again. New message, Natalie. Pick up the phone. Mom is losing it. Dad's freaking out. You need to undo this now. New message, Natalie. She's talking about getting lawyers involved. Smirk. Oh, this just keeps getting better. Tap my fingers against my knee. Thinking. They want to play dirty? Fine. I'll show them how dirty I can get. Open my email, scrolling until I find what I'm looking for. A contract. A fully executed contract. Click on it and let the text sink in. Smiling to myself. Oh, they are going to hate this. Flashback 2 months ago. That's a lot of money, my coworker Victor had said. Staring at my screen. I know, I mutter. You sure you want to put it all toward the cruise? It's for the kids, I say automatically. But something nags at me. And your stepmother? You trust her with this? Victor raises an eyebrow. I hesitate. No, I don't trust her. Not even a little. Then protect yourself, he shrugs. Get something in writing. A contract. Make it official. I stare at him. A contract? Yeah, a simple one. Just something that says they agree to certain conditions, since you're paying for it all. If they break the agreement, they owe you. A slow grin spreads across my face. Victor, I say, you're a genius. Present day. Click forward on the email. Send it directly to Natalie. It takes 30 seconds for my phone to ring again. Incoming call, Natalie. This time I answer. What the hell is this? She screeches before I can even say hello. I smile, settling back into my couch. That, dear sister, is a legally binding agreement. You can't be serious? Oh, I am. You're actually making Mom pay you back? She agreed to my terms when she let me cover the entire trip, I say simply. She accepted my money. She signed a contract. And now she's in breach of that contract. So yes, she owes me. Silence. Then, in a lower, angrier tone, Natalie whispers, Mom is going to lose her mind. She should have thought of that before screwing me over. Natalie takes a slow breath, trying to keep her voice steady. Okay, let's just be reasonable. Maybe we can work something out. Oh, now you want to negotiate? I ask, amused. Look, we can figure this out without lawyers, right? She says quickly. Maybe Mom can pay you back in installments. Or maybe you can just... No. What do you mean, no? I mean, no, Natalie. My voice hardens. Mom always gets away with this crap. She manipulates, she twists things, she does whatever she wants. And you and Dad let her. Well, I'm not playing anymore. She owes me money and she's going to pay it. Natalie is silent. For the first time in her entire life, she doesn't have a comeback. You're serious, she finally mutters. Dead serious. You'd actually sue her over this? If she pushes me? Yes. Another long silence. This is going to destroy the family, Natalie says quietly. No, Natalie, I say calmly, coldly, finally free. This family was already broken. I'm just done pretending it wasn't. And then I hang up. That night, I open a bottle of wine, curl up on my couch, and wait for the fallout, for the meltdown, for the moment my stepmother realizes she isn't in control anymore. And sure enough, at exactly 9:02 p.m., my phone explodes with calls. Dad, Natalie, stepmother. I don't pick up, because this time, I'm done. After canceling the cruise and confronting my stepmother, I'm faced with a tough decision. Pursue justice in court, or seek a peaceful resolution. Should I go to court, or is it better to try and reconcile? Either way, I made the right choice by standing up for myself. For once.